Hi, I'm Shannon, and I'm with the Miller Elder Law Firm, and I want to talk today about part 2 in our discussion of 8 tips to avoid financial ruin. We talked about the first 3, we have 5 more to go. So the next one on the list is financial advisors. It's great to have financial advisors. You know, we don't try to be experts at everything. We don't fix our own cars. We pick financial advisors to help advise us on how to invest our assets. And, you know, it's good if you can do that, if you can kind of let go of making those decisions and putting them in the hands of a professional. I do encourage you, when you're looking for a financial advisor, to pick 3, have them all kind of pitch to you, maybe give you a sample portfolio of what they would do with your assets. And then the most important question you have for them is, how are they paid? So a lot of financial advisors are paid on a percentage basis of your assets, and there's different tiers for what percentage they would earn. And, you know, you want to know, are they also going to take commissions for investments? And commissions are sneaky. You won't see a commission disclosed on any statements that you get. So it's important for you to ask those questions like, are you receiving commission-based pay? Because sometimes financial advisors will not be percentage-based fees. Instead, they are totally based on commissions, and that involves, a front load or a rear load investment. I'm not going to get into a lot of that now, but you want to know, you want full disclosure of how that works and what kind of commission-based investing they would do with your assets. If you see your assets kind of moving around a lot, that can mean that you have a financial advisor who's like churning your assets to continue to get those commissions. And I would be cautious of that. So make sure you understand how your financial advisor is paid. Number 5, so we already did the first 3 in the first video. Number 5 is making sure that you have a long-term care plan for long-term care, right? So we know it's very expensive, and you want to either have a long-term care policy or you want to understand what Medicaid planning might look like in your state and what options there are. So a meeting with an elder law attorney to review your options for long-term care and which assets might be exempt in your state. Like in Florida, we have retirement assets are exempt and homestead is exempt up to a certain amount of value. So, you want to understand in your state what those exemptions are, because those are assets that you would want to protect and make sure you don't have to liquidate later. And so, very important for you to understand your long-term care options and to understand your long-term care policy, which we go into in another video as well. So be sure that you know what a long-term care plan you might have, because again, $13,000 to $14,000 a month, can bankrupt a couple and then, impoverish one spouse that might live another 30 years. Joint accounts, I do a video on that and what the pitfalls are with joint account planning. Relying on joint accounts to plan for your incapacity is very unwise. You should instead title accounts with your name, maybe your spouse's name if you're married. Durable power of attorney should be listed on the account so that they can help you when you're living with your management of assets. And then they're fiduciaries, so they have certain fiduciary obligations. They can't use the money for themselves. And then you want pay on death beneficiaries listed. Medicare versus Medicare Advantage. I could go on and on about that, but Medicare Advantage plans can be financial ruin if you end up in a policy where you need to have pre-approval for procedures and they're disincentivized to approve those requested procedures, and then you have to pay for them yourself, or if you have to go out of network, or if you're sick and now need to go back on traditional Medicare, it can be very difficult to get a supplemental insurance policy at that point with a medical review when you're sick. And then finally, our last item is using like pay on death deeds. We call them enhanced life estate deeds in Florida. They're an amazing planning tool, allows us to avoid probate. So we get to save a lot of money. And it also is a really good way to pass assets without delay to our loved ones on the death of the second of us. It doesn't disqualify you from receiving long-term care benefits through Medicaid because there's no transfer until you die. And it's just a really great way to plan inexpensively for passing on, in particular, homestead property without there being a probate process after you die. Trust-based planning can do the same thing. In Florida, there's some reasons why we might even choose an enhanced life estate deed over funding your real property into a trust. But I don't have time to go into that now. All right, you guys, that's part 2 of some tips on avoiding those pitfalls of financial ruin, and I hope it's been helpful to you.